Good morning, boys. Excuse me. Or I should say good afternoon. So your task this afternoon is to, or by tomorrow morning's class, is to make 2 posts based on our reading of Sharkbait. So remember what it takes to make a thoughtful post. There are a couple things we looked at in the past. Providing the text that stimulates your thinking, and then writing off of that text. We've looked at sentence starters, the thought I have about this, or this makes me realize. And so feel free to use those if you need them. Okay, I'm going to model a little bit here of my thinking and what I picked up here on this text. I think it's on page 127. Let me see. Yeah, I think this is from page 127 of Sharkbait. And I'm going to go ahead and put it on full view here so you can see it. Okay, so my thinking occurred, I don't know, a week or two ago when we read this page. And if you recall, it was the description of the Bloss's home. And this is how Graham Salisbury chose to describe the Bloss's home. It says, right up here, let me see if I could get it. It says, right here, this paragraph right here says, the Bloss place was an old paint-peeled shack of a house that sat back in a grove of thorny kovai trees. The yard in front was dirt, dusk, and a lawn full of weedy, sleeping grass. You know, and I've seen a couple words here that really stood out. And when I was reading this, I started to relate it to actually Johnny's relationship with his dad. You know, the house they live in is an old paint-peeled shack. And if you think about paint-peeled, it's the paint's so old that it's starting to come off. You know, the front yard was dirt. You know, there wasn't a whole lot there growing and thriving. Flowers, grass. It was just dirt, dusk, and Salisbury says, a lawn full of weedy, sleeping grass. You know, I think to tell you the truth, that Salisbury's really using this as a symbol of Johnny's relationship with his dad. You know, it isn't growing. It can't grow. The dad's a bit of an alcoholic. He beats up on his son. And of course, if we think about their relationship, it's an old paint-peeled relationship that's filled with dirt, dust, and weedy sleeping grass. So I was thinking about that, and I thought that was something cool to write about. And if you go down here, actually, you'll see something else that I discovered, and it's this one down here. An old bike lay rusting its way back into the earth. James' bike. You know, and the thought I have about this is, again, I think it can be used to describe Johnny and his dad, their relationship. Yes, it's James' bike, you know, and I think that's also a symbol of James' relationship with his father. You know, it was, you know, an abandoned bike. Their relationship has been abandoned. James has just run out and left it, you know. But I also think, you know, that old bike, you know, just kind of in the front of the yard, just, again, paint peeling. The parts are broken, there are parts missing. And then think about the relationship with Johnny and his dad. You know, it's rusting away, the paint is peeling. They don't talk much to each other. When Johnny does talk to his father, perhaps it has to do with his father's demands on Johnny. Johnny going to pick up his father when he, or Johnny going to work for his father and missing school. It's just an old relationship that needs some revitalization, if that's even possible. So I've got these two thoughts, and I'm actually going to bring them together, this thought, and I'm going to try to write off of that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the website. Whoops, let me get rid of all that. And I'm going to, first of all, entitle it Sharkbait, because remember, we want to do that for all our posts. And then the name I gave it was The Bloss Place in Need of Repair, Inside and Out. I guess that's okay. I could probably think of another one. But for right now, you get the idea that I'm trying to give some thought to my title. Or maybe I could change this now that I think it. The Bloss. I like this one better. Bloss, father and son relationship, comma, in need of repair, inside and out. Maybe that's a better title. So what I'm going to start with my quotes. Oh, I didn't mention the other one that, this on that same page, 2 mental unit dogs spotted us and charged out from under the house, It's like, that's the way, Johnny and his dad interact. It's highly charged, and, the dad could go off at any minute, like the dogs go off on, the narrator when they end up coming to the house to pick up Johnny. So I can include that in my writing. So I start with my quotes, I put the page number, and then I begin my writing, So that's the task ahead of you today. You have some time, at least 30 minutes in class, and then whatever it takes, this evening to finish this. So you want to make 2 posts. Feel free to add some pictures from the web that might symbolize your thinking. I went on, I think, kind of looking at, this is kind of a literal translation, but I went on to looking at some torn down homes, and maybe I didn't really find anything that I liked that would be symbolic. I kind of have in my gut, I feel I need to do something different for a picture that symbolizes Johnny's relationship, but I still need time to think about that. Okay? So I'll look forward to checking things out with you, this evening as I go on to the blog, and also tomorrow. So remember, 2 posts by tomorrow based on Sharkbait. Okay? All right. Work hard, boys, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Okay.